So, Boss Insights provides banks and other lenders with the clearest view of their business customers that they could have to date. And we do this for a variety of reasons. The first is to enable them to accelerate lending decisions from months to minutes. And that's true in the SMB market, the commercial market, and it includes any SBA loans. But the other reason is to act as a tip-off to any marketing groups within a bank that this business customer is a candidate for other products. That could be deposits, it could be foreign exchange, it could be group solutions. The more access to information you have on your business customer, the more able you are to proactively meet their needs and provide that delight moment. We've been around for a couple years and we created a compound data platform. So it is something that will gather sources from over 800 different cloud-based software systems that a business use. Rather than solve one specific use case, what we want is a complete health check of the business so that the lender is in true partnership with the business in real time. They're not retroactively responding to needs, they're proactive in their approach to customers. We're in market at the moment, and the use case, I'm just gonna go ahead. The use case that we started with was the lending use case, and that's because it is such a large one in market. We're looking at a $5 trillion need gap, and that was before COVID, something growing at 20% over a 5-year period. And then COVID hits, and what we have is this intensification of the need. And I think Stuart said it best when he first started chatting this morning, that we're sitting here all acting in the most innovative ways. If banks have been acting as startups, I think startups have been acting as startups squared, if such a thing can be said. And we've all been collaborating together in market in order to truly address the borrower need. Because in under a month, maybe in under 2 months, the first legislation was given out, but under 2 months, $659 billion was given to over 5,400 lenders. So that's a third of the financial institutions in the US. And it's quite unfathomable to think that they provided a product that was not offered 2 months ago. What we have figured out is that if you are able to take a platform that works with any type of lending and adapt it to one that looks at how much is a business spending versus how much does a business earn, you can then automate for that lender and that borrower the most important of the calculations. And we focused our product, we were listening to market, we focused our product specifically on that forgiveness calculation piece, because every day there is new guidance on the forgiveness. So this slide was prepared just last week, and there's new guidance today as the SBA provided over the weekend their forgiveness guidance. It was to be for funds up to 8 weeks, and now they've provided flexibility on that. So a platform that can adapt to that means there is no manual entry from the banks or the borrowers as they go forward. The first guidance was that businesses had to have 75% of payroll and operating expenses, and now it is a much more flexible solution. Let's say you don't have 75%, it will just give you what you have, 74, 73%. However, the forms that are provided are very cumbersome. The forgiveness calculation form is 11 pages long, and it is very easy to make a mistake on it. So what Boss Insights has done is we have updated this guidance here. So I'm just showing you what happens in 2 days in market right now to show that we can automate the pull of all the information from the forgiveness form. We can provide flexible guidance from the accounting APIs that we have to pull the 8 weeks of expenses or just beyond it, because now the latest guidance allows for that. And it requires no manual update work on the bank or the borrower side. The platform we put in market was an end-to-end platform for CARES PPP. And truly, it's a subsection of our original compound data platform that would work for any lending model that is out there. It's just specific to the CARES PPP, because what we have is over 5,400 lenders lending in the same way, largely at the same time. So this platform, any bank can have at their disposal within 1 to 3 days. There's a rapid adoption module that you can put in place, and it addresses any change. There are often questions we get in market. given that the onus is on the borrowers to attest that they are doing what is responsible and what is accurate for PPP, is it really a bank's issue? And what we say here is that, yes, it is true that the borrowers has to attest. However, if the borrowers are not going to pay back, there is the guarantee matter, meaning that the SBA will guarantee loans if everything was done appropriately. We want to make sure that all of that information is being gathered at the borrower level, but also at the portfolio level for all of the 2.8 million borrowers that have been accessing this facility, so that banks have that should auditors ask for it after the fact. We have this platform available end-to-end or modular, and it does adapt to changing legislation. It is also applicable to SBA facilities after June. So I have a demo video here that I can show. I'm wondering how I'm doing on time. Otherwise, I can go to Q&A. How are we doing on time?
Technically your time is up, but if you want to go for a little 1 minute demo, go for it.
I'd rather go to Q&A if there are any questions that anyone has. Happy to take them.
Sounds good, yeah. Let's move over to Q&A then. Alrighty. All right, so the first question is, how quickly is it to integrate with your solution, and what's the process?
So it's a quick 1 to 3 day process. We have a handout that we give to every bank that wants to do it. We're simply putting a link onto your platform, onto your website. When someone logs in, they'll have the sign-on experience. And we put most of the onus on Boss Insights, meaning that there's just a domain name that has to be assigned, a logo that has to be provided, and we're good to go.
Sounds good. Do you have any? Yeah, plug and play. Do you have any success stories working with financial institutions that you can share?
Sort of. We are working with I can share the category rather than the bank. After this process, we will be able to share the actual customers, but not during the actual forgiveness time. So we're working with mid-tier banks, and we're working with some community banks. We're also working with some large tier organizations and some private lenders. Some of that is within PPP and some of it is outside it. On our regular deck, I have some use cases. So what APIs have been adopted and how quickly they've been adopted.
Okay. Sounds good. I think that wraps it up for our Q&A for now. Everyone, the poll is on the screen. So if you'd like an introduction to Boss Insights, please give it a yes.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much, Karen.